this race. The two candidates, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, spent today in what's considered to be battleground states. Well, joining us now for some insights on the campaigns and to look ahead to tomorrow is political scientist and pollster Peter Wickham. Mr. Wickham, give us your take on the campaigns.
There's been an interesting campaign, ups and downs. We have a historic situation on our hands where for the first time you have a president that has indictments, former president with indictments running. It's also the first time that a person who was a former president who was defeated has actually come back to run again. And on the other side, we have an attempt to make history by the first woman, and the first woman of color, Kamala Harris. So I think that they're first on both sides, but it's been interesting that you've had one of the candidates where his imperfections have been manifest, and there have been several challenges of a moral nature, financial, otherwise, but he has, notwithstanding that, he is within neck and neck with Kamala Harris, who on the face of it or on paper should be the stronger candidate. So that makes this a very interesting race as we look forward.
Now, who's been the more impactful or convincing candidate for you?
That's an interesting question, because certainly on the face of it, the candidate I'm impressed more with is Kamala Harris. Having said that, the fact that Donald Trump has been able to stick around this long, the fact that he's still able to, at this stage, be considered an option, and the fact that there are millions of Americans that will vote for him, clearly he's had an impact. And I think it's something which we're going to have to mull over as political analysts for a long time. How does someone as imperfect as him get to the stage where it is entirely possible that he could be the next president of the United States? It's an interesting thought.
That it is. Now, what were among the major issues resonating with the American people?
I think when it comes down to it, it's bread and butter. Certainly for Democrats, they are not thrilled about the economy, but they're also very unhappy with Gaza, the situation in Gaza for many people. But I think that, for Republicans, it's come down to bread and butter issues. The state of the economy, the cost of living. Americans don't buy the fact that the cost of living is high globally. They don't get the fact that there are food riots in Martinique, in Paris, there are issues in the United Kingdom. They don't get that. They're concerned about their own economic reality, and they believe that it is bad now under Biden. It will be bad under Kamala Harris, and that maybe it will be better under Trump. And I think it's a simple message that he's been selling very effectively. And as it comes down to it, I would say that that seems to be the issue that is lingering most in people's mind. Not COVID, not the imperfections of Donald Trump, but the bread and butter realities that Americans are facing.
Expectations for tomorrow?
I certainly hope that Kamala Harris wins and pulls through. My concern is that had Donald Trump presidency will reinforce isolationism. The climate agenda will reverse. I think that the impact on the Caribbean and certainly the world will be significantly negative. So for those reasons, I do hope Kamala Harris wins. But as I've been saying, I wouldn't be surprised if she loses and Donald Trump wins. And I think that we need to prepare ourselves mentally for either outcome.
Let's turn it more inward to Barbados now. And what do you see it meaning for us as a country if Ms. Harris should win versus what it would look like with a Trump victory?
Well, I mean, Kamala Harris is more of the same. I mean, I think that we're happy that she has a Jamaican parent and a woman of color. I think that women around the world are going to celebrate the fact that there is finally a woman who is the most powerful person in the world. And I think that that's something that we can all celebrate. So that would be the Kamala Harris victory. Policy-wise, I don't expect any significant changes. My expectation is that she will probably lean more heavily on the Israeli government than currently Biden is leaning. I think a Trump victory, however, is an entirely different story. I think that we go back to, as I said earlier, isolationism, where it is America first and perhaps everyone else never. And I think that that will be significantly negative. Trump is a deal maker. Unless the Caribbean region is relevant to him for some purpose of expedience, we are irrelevant. And I think that that is the reality we faced last time. And that's what we'll be looking at. We benefit from the climate agenda being advanced because we have seen the brunt of that in recent times with hurricanes and so on. He pulled out of the Paris Accord last time, and my expectation is that he has a similar plans up his sleeve. And I think that that's something that will be particularly painful. So it's going to be a rough ride ahead if he does win.
Well, we'll be looking on come tomorrow. So
All
I
right.
want to thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much, Peter Wickham. And CBC will be carrying live coverage tomorrow night of the U.S. election at 9:30.